the stream.
So this is my first time in one of these streams.
No, you've been here
what's
before.
I think you were in one of the Volume 7
You were
ones.
in two of them. You're in two of them.
Okay.
For
What's
like
the
a
play-by-play?
minute.
What do we do?
Honestly, with this, I don't even care.
My
Just go
monkey
for it.
ape
Because
brain has...
I didn't have time to like do anything in order. I've always wanted to. I just don't ever have time for anything. So it's just whatever gets spat out and asked. We just talk.
You shoot the
Alright.
shit.
Yeah, because we missed last week, and I doubt anybody's
Yeah.
going to want to talk about last week. I think it's going to be this week. So, but we are live. Hi everybody. I'm gonna tweet now.
Hello.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It is that you're here, sure.
Yeah.
So detention, you're saying?
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho,
Merry
ho.
Christmas.
Everybody who gets detention.
Fatman
in this
Falling,
stuff.
what are you giving all of your subscribers for Christmas?
All my love and my hard work, and that's I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. So try me.
I'm giving my lot extra content because of Ruby having a big old break this year.
Hey Fatman, when's the next review out?
When is well actually quite soon, because the next review is the Volume 7 commentary review. And that's in not in pre-production anymore. That's officially out of pre-production. It's in regular production. Oh yeah.
That's cool. I've got a Volume 7 review stuck on the back burners, but because of this break, I have a bit of a window to slip
Excellent.
in now.
Oh, the Fatman official movie trailer. We should react to that.
Dude, Fatman, I didn't know you were in a movie.
I'm in a movie. I'm in a movie. I play Mel Gibson, who plays Santa Claus, I think.
Yeah. It's not Mel Gibson voicing you, it's you voicing Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he's still canceled. And they had to get me to play him.
Well, it's
And
funny
my only
'cause I think-
stipulation was that they named the movie after me.
It's funny you say he's still cancelled because I think the whole film is about like a vengeful kid wanting to get payback on Santa for giving him coal.
Yes,
I
I
kind
believe
of
that
it.
is the story of the movie. And I can't wait. I think it's going to be either terrible or amazing. Either way, I'm stoked.
Well, just look at that thumbnail. Yup.
Oh, the thumbnail didn't load for me, but I've seen.
It's Santa Claus with a gun.
That's...
Dude,
You can't
listen,
do any better.
like, giving Santa Claus a gun, that's kind of low-key edgy. Fucking high-key edgy is Rise of the Guardians, when they made Santa Claus
Yes.
a tattooed Russian with two big fucking swords. That is the most based shit I've ever seen. It's so cool.
Wasn't he voiced by like Al Baldwin as well?
I don't know, man. I don't remember the voice actors, but God, I remember watching that movie and be like, "Holy shit, Santa's a badass!"
I remember it's like Hugh Jackman was like an Australian Easter Bunny, and then
Yeah, that was Hugh Jackman.
who was Pitch? Because I loved his voice because it fit the character so well, but I can't think of the
Oh, it
name.
was an English voice actor.
Yes, I know.
It wasn't Cumberbatch.
No, it's the guy who was.
It was the discount Cumberbatch when you can't afford Cumberbatch.
It was Watson. It was Watson in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes.
Jude Law.
That's it, Jude Law. He had the perfect voice for that kind of character. Fantastic stuff.
The discount Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
Sounds like a
he
sexual position.
is the discount David Benedict Cumberbatch.
David
Bartholomew?
Cumberbatch, lesser known Cumberbatchian brother.
Yeah, you know, David Cucumber.
David Cumberbatch from Clan Cumberbatch.
But isn't it like Bartholomew or something? What's his name? Beatrice?
Benedict.
Benedict. Yeah, something with a B.
Eggs Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Don't make me hungry.
All right. So just gonna let people come in. How's the audio,
Did
you
you
guys?
know-
Thanks for joining us.
Did
Have we been
know
live
that-
this whole time?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
told you. I've been telling you we've been live, girl.
No, I'm aware. I'm just messing with you.
Well, it
Did
worked
you
for a
know
minute.
that your body is 70% water, and that is thirsty?
Nice. Nice. I'm about to use that.
extreme thirst.
Just drinks, everyone. All right.
No,
Dude.
my favorite is, hey girl, do you like water? That means
Yeah.
you're like 70% of me.
Where's the rest?
Dude, like I was scrolling through Reddit as you do, like a gentleman. And I was looking through
Booking
I'm
a family
Sorry
vacation
John,
in a
also known as the Garfield Gorefield.
Yes.
The
Comic.
Gorefield.
What?
Yeah. Dude, have you not seen Gorefield?
I
No.
think I have. I just didn't
Okay.
didn't know that it was like a thing that had its own
I
dedicated
can
Oh,
subreddit.
dude,
I'm
there's
too
a
scared.
dedicated culture behind Gorefield. It's low key summary is it's Garfield written by H.P. Lovecraft. Like Garfield is
Say
this
no more.
eldritch abomination. I'm sorry, John. I was so hungry I consumed everything. You know.
But is it better or worse than the Garfield movie?
Better.
Oh, I think it's on par.
I
A
don't
Tale
know.
of Two Kitties? Are you kidding me?
It's got to be close.
Uh,
But hey, welcome to the stream about Ruby and H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tale of
As
Two
you do.
Kitties, the second worst thing to ever happen to the UK.
I hate to think of the first.
Him working today.
Well, there's a couple of contenders. Me being born, probably one of them.
None of that. None of that. You're the sexiest one here. Get it? Not get it. Do you understand what I meant? I don't know why I said get it. It's like a
I'm
joke.
sorry, I
It's
don't
not a joke.
understand.
Not a joke.
Does
Yes, you
not
understand.
comprehend.
Garfield or Odie? Odie. Garfield, fat fuck. No, thank you. Odie. I'm a dog. I'm a dog girl.
I'm so confused. What?
All right, just don't worry about it. Sit down before you hurt yourself.
So someone in the chat asked.
I should have
Garfield
mentioned-
or Odie.
Ah, I see. I should have mentioned that I did many shots before joining this call.
Fun.
Right?
Yes. That's how. That's the best way to handle Ruby, according to you guys, right?
Yeah.
I
Not-
mean,
not-
I've never
not Dan,
trained,
though.
But
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Media, I swear to God. Have a couple. Have a couple. All right.
nah.
So let's
God,
see.
you
It's
know,
been...
you know how like pissed my sisters would be if I drank like
Without
with
them?
anybody other than
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, get him on a stream one day. Be like, this is sister number 1. This is sister number 2. Salud. Salud.
Can I get a link to the YouTube, man?
Sounds good. It's in the thingy. It's in the tweet.
In the doobly doo.
Oh, it's in the tweet. I see.
It's in a
But I'll put it in here anyway.
Got it. Thank you.
It's in a Gata Davida.
I want to share these birds pics because
Oh, God.
I couldn't take it.
Share the wealth.
Almost the gang is here. Yeah, where the fuck is Raymond?
He's
Almost
doing
there.
his own
Ginger.
stream. Like we need to just stream his stream.
Yeah, that
Through-
ginger opinion have an ass. What's he doing? Can we live stream Raymond stream? Can we actually do that?
I can put it on.
I think we
here.
can, but we don't want him to DMCA us. He would be the type, wouldn't
He
he?
would be the type. Well, you know, if you support our Patreon, you can guarantee that money goes to Fatman instead of Raymond.
To fund Fatman 2.
What if we
Yes.
just went to Patreon? We find out everyone who is only supporting Raymond, and we contact them. It's like, hey, listen,
Listen.
we're on the inside. We know what's going on. You don't want to support Raymond. Like, listen, are you a fan of Colombian sex gangs? No. Well, have I got news for you, buddy?
Peekaboo. This is how British Ninja welcomes everyone in
That's true.
the chat. I
Ninja,
lost
do
it.
you think that this
I needed
volume
to share
will
with everyone.
expand on Salem's magic? Yes, I think that Salem's getting more involved. I think that it's mainly going to be this chess match between, first of all, nice bird butt on the screen. Second of all, I think that this is mainly going to be the season of this chess match between Salem and Ironwood, and Ironwood getting his booty smacked. Not too dissimilar to how I smack Fatman's booty.
Yeah, I'm upset that it's not going to be by me, so I don't want to watch anymore. So if that
The
happens.
way I would describe it, it's a chess match between a master player and a guy who's 3 shots in. Because Ironwood is willing to throw any pieces away.
Well, listen,
no.
that's how you play the game, baby.
Yeah.
You don't play
look,
chess being a pacifist. Anyway, sorry, Fatman.
Ironwood is Salem is over here and she's playing like 5D chess and Ironwood is just back here on like regular old 2D chess.
He's still
Man's
reading
playing
the
checkers.
instruction booklet.
Man's playing checkers.
and I will always be
No,
double D.
Ruby's playing checkers. She's like, oh, we'll save everybody. King me.
Ruby, we're playing Monopoly.
All right, guys. Just a reminder, guys, out there, that if you want any questions asked, make sure you at any of us, so we can see it. If we don't, just
please do.
probably spam it because I suck at it, and Raymond's not here to read.
I'll do
Probably-
my best to fill in for Raymond and
Thank you.
track of which
I'll be
questions we're
peeping
on.
at the chat.
Thank you, thank you.
Blake sits down to play Monopoly. It's like, but Weiss always wins. It's like, sorry, it's just part of the family lineage. We
I
win
mean,
at Monopoly.
did you see how she handled the game in, what was it, Volume 2? Like, she really got invested.
Floor's lava?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Oh no, it was like the D&D.
The Yu-Gi-Oh proxy.
Strategy game. I remember.
Uh,
I
it
was there.
was
Pepper
basically-
Charm remembers.
Yeah, wasn't it like Pyrrha and Sean playing that shit as well?
Oh, they
Not-
wanted to.
Media's
Not
trying to
I-
say
I'm
something.
glad you bring. Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
I won the game, and it was Team Juniper were like there, but they were off studying in the corner while Team
Yeah.
Ruby, Neptune, and Sun were playing.
Yes.
I won that game. Like, one of my biggest frustrations with the Rooster Teeth is how like poor the merchandise is. Like, I know that toys aren't an important part of like a show or anything, but Ruby is.
I mean, tell that to anime.
Yeah, Ruby is so perfect for like action figure fodder. Like,
Mhm.
they are just sitting on a gold mine there, and instead of like giving figurines and action figures and toys, we'll get the occasional plushie, which is good, and then like really poorly made shirts and jackets.
Dude,
Yeah.
I will
I-
say, you're
I
right.
would say in terms of figures, we don't really know how easy or difficult it is for a relatively still niche property to get high quality figures. Like, how long did it take for them to get that McFarlane one with Ruby and the Beowulf? And that's not something that they can easily do in studio versus like shirts and jumpers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I mean, a lot of
definitely
shows don't even have
improvements
like
we
high
need to
quality
do.
McFarlane figures like that.
Mhm.
So
Mm,
like they kind of got it ahead of the game.
yeah.
I will
Like
say,
they rushed to the expensive figures.
I will say, like, there are some fucking amazing third-party Ruby figures. Not like Rooster Teeth is missing out by like not contacting some of these companies and be like, yo, okay, we'll let you do this shit legally, but we'll give you a cut of the money.
Mm.
Dora's in the
Especially with,
chat.
like, the-
Dora, you're in the chat. Are you working on the fucking deal with darkness? And in the back alley there,
But yeah,
buying racism.
I
don't
could definitely
know.
agree that there needs to be some improvements in terms of the Ruby merchandise as a whole. Like, obviously, there's been some complaints lately in terms of the T-shirts, but I mean, like, look in what was it, the second episode, that Snow Fox plushie that was on the road when Oscar went by. I would
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
that's
sure.
yeah.
I
I mean,
know
they'd have
if
to pay
I-
Floof royalties, right?
Yes, I would actually
Yes.
buy one and then send it to Floof.
No, I need a crunchy plush.
All right, we
That's
got
it.
2 questions from Concede.
What do
The
we
first one is by Janiz Maku Domaru
Hmm.
at Dashi. This is a question for you.
Mhm.
When do you or anyone else think Watts's backdoor program will start happening to Penny, and how do you feel about the break?
I think it's not going to start next episode, but the episode afterwards. And I don't think it's just going to be plain hack. There will be some sort of hack, but not like that easy. It can't be that easy. Please don't let it be that easy.
I'd like to access Penny's back door if you.
Oh lordy,
Do
lordy.
not piss Robot
She's like
Girl.
she's like
Yeah.
2 days old.
She's 2 days old. Fuck.
I wasn't born yesterday. I was born the day before that.
Yeah.
Listen, she's 8 in powers. That makes her like a million now.
Okay.
Anyway,
Careful, you might get a virus.
Anybody else want to answer that?
So with the backdoor program, I think that's going to be something that happens towards the end of the season, ramping up to the finale. As for the break, I love it. I actually replied to Murder Bird's tweet on this, saying that like I get burnt out by like early January when it comes to RWBY, just making the reviews and the podcasts week in and week out, just nonstop, and then I'm not even finished with that stuff until like late February, and by then I just like want to off myself. So
Mm.
having this break is like a godsend, and it happened like one day after I was actually complaining about the inevitable Ruby burnout I knew I was going to face, and how many other projects I wanted to get to like right now. And now with that break,
I
like
can relate.
I'm finally gonna be able to do that Boruto video I've been teasing on my channel. I'm going to do more like honest look stuff throughout December.
What
I
the?
got a couple other things in the works for January. Like I'm so excited for
How
this
long is this
break.
break? How long exactly is this
Uh,
break?
It's up in
2 months.
What the fuck?
February 6th or 9th. I can't recall exactly,
Uh,
but yeah,
6th.
it's all the way through January.
Oh, Lordy,
Yeah,
Lordy,
yeah,
Lordy.
we got 3 more episodes. So the
Alright.
last episode is on like December 19th or
The
something,
last
and then it's
the last episode of this year is episode 99. The first episode of the next year is episode 100.
Okay.
yeah.
Alright.
At
Yeah,
British.
I have I have an even more YouTubery answer for why I'm stoked about the break. Fuck January ad revenue. I don't have to
Yes.
worry about it at all.
Yeah.
No more putting out a 2-hour-long video and getting $4 in revenue.
Yeah, I mean, even me, I don't like monetize my videos, but even I can notice that there is like a certain decline when you get to January.
I can't wait to
Um,
find out what that is when I have 8 more to go, guys. 8 more.
Yeah.
8 more subscribers.
Yeah, and then I can do
also
this.
just like a side thing as well, it's also good for the RWBY. They need
Yes.
as much break as they can,
Yes. Mhm.
especially through this year. So
Correction.
all good.
7 more subscribers.
Oh, hey, nice, guys. You think
Nice.
it'll happen this stream? I hope so.
let's
It
get
better.
lucky
The
number
stream's
7.
not ending until Daffy hits 1,000.
Well, I mean,
Well-
let's see. That was my first account. Do I have any alternative accounts? Though?
No cheating.
I
it's
have
alright.
70 alternative accounts.
Excellent. Do you think that there's meme potential for Crunchy Summer? The
Not
name,
summer.
I don't know.
Not summer, but
fine.
somebody. Ah! Somebody subscribed. That was a
don't
loud
find-
whip. Sonic,
I don't
thank you.
find,
Thank
like,
you, man.
I don't find the Crunchy Summer shit funny. I must admit.
What's
Yeah?
a
There
crunchy
are
summer?
better
I
memes.
don't
Crunchy Summer is the stupid name that our specific
one.
subset of the community gave to the dog Grim that kidnapped Oscar.
Oh, okay. Crunchy?
Yeah.
Crunchy
Okay,
I guess
Summer. Yeah, I think we could work on the name a little bit.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
reason why, like, I'm
I
fine
just
with,
like Cinder
Crunchy.
too.
Yeah, I'm fine with Crunchy. I don't like the Summer Rose theory because I have always hated the Summer Rose
Let's
theories
see.
that just spring up every single volume
Yeah.
with this community.
Broke, thinking that it's summer.
yeah.
Woke, knowing that it's Raymond. Raymond? Roman.
Roman.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing. Same thing.
Same, yeah. No, I mean, hey, they need to recast somebody because Grade
Yeah.
is not with Rooster Teeth anymore. So
That's
we
true.
got
It's
I mean,
Raymond.
yeah.
I mean, it's voiced by Jason Liebrecht, who
Blah, blah,
replaced
blah.
one
Oh.
voice, so he's replacing another voice.
And speaking of, I really didn't like his voice in this episode this time. I normally don't really care, but you
Oh,
could
in,
tell. You could tell
episode
this
4.
episode. Episode 4, yeah. It was a little too forced. I don't know what to call it. But normally I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice. And then this one was like, oof, too
I
much
felt
drama.
fine with it because it's obviously like new ground for him doing that kind of very emotional, not like defeated emotional, but just like almost like angry with himself, but still broken. But I mean, I thought it was alright, but obviously he's still trying to really nail like Crow for himself and separate it completely from Vic.
They are big shoes to fill too, so yeah.
I miss Vic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I've said this a little, talking about Volume 7, but I feel like he started out the season really trying to separate himself, and then he kind of drifted more into, like, a Vic impression over Season 7. And I think he's kind of trying to break out of that now.
I hope so. Listen, can I just say I do not like depressed Crow. That's the most boring kind of Crow. Drunk Crow is funny. Helpful Crow is pretty good. Depressed Crow, God, it feels like I'm back in Season 4. Jesus. Anyway.
Well,
what
hopefully
was-
this will be the last of it because it feels like this should be like the last final hurdle for him in terms of like rebuilding himself.
And then he's gonna die. Mediocrity. I have a friend in England. Wow, weird place. That has God tier Ruby merch, and he says half of the time it breaks in the damn box. I wish they made it better. Yeah,
I think he meant got Ruby merch, not God.
That has God Ruby merch.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
He
I
meant
see.
like T.
Oh,
They received it.
Yeah. I'm like, God,
God?
good or got?
God tier
got
Ruby merch.
GOT, I believe. I see.
Yeah. I imagine you like order a shirt and then when it shows up, it's just like cracked down the middle. Like, God damn it.
It's Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I
The isn't
back in like 2013 when I was a child, literal baby, I bought like the first season of Ruby on DVD, and the quality was so bad. The box was terrible. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off.
Yeah, I remember I had the Volume 3 Blu-ray, and I bought a Ruby shirt, and I think my sister no, I know for a fact my sister stole it, and then lost it.
Oh.
She thought it was hers. So
I haven't had.
it was the one with the old style Beowulfs and
Oh
like
yeah.
the red ruby like silhouette against the moon.
I haven't had anything like broken, but I remember I think it was like the first RTX London. I was in the store area buying some stuff. Seriously, I'm certain that I picked up the Ruby Attack on Titan shirt, and I bought it, but they gave me a completely different shirt, and by the time I noticed and wanted to go back and replace it, they had already sold out.
Oh,
So
man.
I had to stick with it.
Oh.
But they
Every
are
time
sitting.
I get Ruby merch, they always send somebody wearing a very ominous mask of one of the writers to kill
Oh,
me.
God damn it.
I've
Oh.
only barely survived every time.
Jesus.
Miles and Carrie, what are you doing here?
Let's see now. Just looking through
God.
the comment section of the last video, and one of them was.
Oh yes. If you have any of episode 3 or 4 specific questions, probably 4 because 3 is like old hat at this point.
Yeah.
Who even remembers episode 3?
Episode 3
Strings.
So
Strings.
early November.
Well, I mean, you notice we're in a volume 3 period now because we got ourselves a long ass break through Christmas.
Not yet.
Like that's like the immediate response I saw for most part was just like, oh god, it's like after the episode with Yang versus Mercury where we had to wait through Christmas. Then the first thing back was a World of Remnant. Then the next thing back was a flashback episode. When are we gonna find out what happened?
Oh god,
remember
yeah.
that.
They're gonna bring back World of Remnant just to spite everybody. Because like I guarantee you, whichever episode 99 or episode 7 is it gonna be?
Yeah, episode 7 is the last one. Episode 8 is
Yeah.
the next one.
The last shot of that episode, 100%. If it's not, I'll slap myself in the face really hard on stream.
Yes.
No, not on stream, just in the reaction, like so that
Yes.
you can like just watch it over and over
I
again.
will travel back to California just to slap you.
Yes, everybody will break social distancing just to slap me in the face.
I will cough in your face.
There are so many people that would love that, though. Real talk. I'm sure
Yeah.
there are.
Yeah.
Cough in your face.
to coffin. Yeah. But like
Slap-
the last
slap
shot of
man
that
falling.
episode is going to be Penny speaking in Watts' voice.
Yeah, I
just-
could totally see that.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
dude,
then-
totally. You're so right.
And imagine if it's him saying salutations.
oh, I would.
Oh
I
my
would,
God.
I would love it.
Just for hearing
In
Christopher
his voice,
Sabat
yeah.
saying that.
Yes.
Oh
if
my
he
God.
says if the last shot of that episode, I know the last shot of that episode is going to be confirmation
Oh,
that Penny's
dude.
back. But if he
Dude.
says salutations, I'll be like 10 out of 10
Yeah.
episode.
Beautiful.
What if Neo finally goes to stab Ruby in the back? We've been building it up all this time, and Watts fucking beats her to the punch, and she's like, "Damn it!"
Damn it!
The first audible line is "God fucking damn it!"
Goes like kicks some shit like God
Yeah.
fucking it's
In rage, just opens the umbrella and purposefully floats away.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I love that so much.
and it's,
Dude, I just checked. There's like animation positions open at Rooster Teeth. So all I need is 2 more years. So all I'm saying is, guys, is I will be directing the Rooster Teeth finale. It's me. I'll be doing it.
yeah.
I'll move to America. I'll start working in Austin, Texas, and I'll animate the RWBY finale. Mark my words.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
and
And
it will be lame.
and everybody there will be
I'm-
Neo. Yes.
So, CJ Black asked, out
Hey,
of the
CJ.
four factions in this arc, who do you guys think and want to walk away with a major win in the end? And by factions, I mean the party, Salem's crew, James' forces, and maybe Cinder.
I
Salem.
want the
like to see
audience to
Cinder
walk away
win.
with a major win.
Yeah,
Please.
I would like for Cinder to win, but I also just I really want Cinder to fuck up again and just get her ass beaten by
Oh,
Salem like
that-
a fucking redheaded
That was one of
stepchild.
my
I would
favorite moments from the
appreciate-
recent episode. Just
I-
like
I-
Cinder
yeah.
finally breaking off, and you go, okay, it's not a matter of if, it's when now, because we are getting to that point where those two are going to come to blows.
I would love it if Cinder fucking up is what causes James to get the win. I would appreciate James to get the win just to be like, yeah, this isn't your traditional fairy tale story where there's a clear cut good guy and bad guy. I would want James to win. To like give merit to the sacrifice and give some bloody nuance to the situation.
And
I
I will
think
stick to what I said in the last video, even though one of the comments said, because I said Salem hasn't done anything that is scary to me. Like I want to feel some sort of like threat from her alone
Famous last words.
by herself, right? By herself. Like yes, she's told people to go, fuck some shit up, but her herself with her own hands is what I meant, and she hasn't done that except for the Hazel thing, which was scary, but it wasn't like world-ending scary. Like what was it? Raymond said that. He said, if I see her like walk past like people in Mantle and they just like fall to their deaths because of her aura, like just her presence, then yeah, holy shit, But
Yeah.
I want to see what she alone can do. And this episode started doing that, and I like that.
That's a cool way of looking at it. Personally, I'm more a fan of. I don't need to know how like Goku strong she is. I know that she's an intimidating villain because of the way that she manages her minions. Like
Yeah.
the way she talks about her subordinates and like is
With
able
full
to take
confidence.
care of. She is a queen, and I don't mean that in like the Yaz queen.
Well, she is
mean.
that too. Why not?
She is an absolute ruler, and that she dictates and makes good decisions, and she is winning. It's
I think the most important thing is like, I think out of all those four that CJ listed, I think she needs to be at the top of the most winning for this volume. I think every group is going to have some semblance of a win to some degree, but this is Salem's grand debut into the world of Remnant. She needs to make the biggest impression. You can't really do that by her taking an L early on.
on debut. She's been here since season 3.
I mean, in terms of like it
I know
coming
what you
out in
mean.
the
I know what
open, you know what I
In the
mean?
war.
What she
I
can do.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean,
This is
I
Are you
guarantee.
winning, son?
Yeah, I guarantee that this volume is going to end with Salem on top and the heroes scattered across Remnant.
Are you
Oh,
winning, Cinder?
Yeah. and it just cuts to Oscar screaming.
Oh man, the nipple twister, whatever he said.
Dude,
No,
what
but
if
that
they-
was pretty scary though. And she's got rainbow beams. I love it.
Again, with the idea of just making absolute off-the-wall decisions. If they just straight up killed Oscar, I was like, okay, I'll spin next body. That would be, in my opinion, pretty rad. Would it
I
would,
think
would
I'd-
it make you question what the point of Oscar was? Sure, but it would. I don't know. It's that kind of Game of Thrones element where I don't like my main characters feeling like they're not gonna kill Ruby.
Nah,
Obviously.
nah.
They're not. Ruby is under no threat whatsoever.
Like
But I
the
wish-
general
I wish they
consensus
would.
I've been getting is like people thinking she's going to get either kidnapped or brutally injured.
Like
I've heard
right
losing
now,
eyes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the eyes is like the big takeaway, eye for an eye, but nah, she's going to get as close to a big L as possible.
yeah, like this is meant to be the worst situation ever, right? Like Salem is knocking on the door. She has a giant army. We have nothing. Everyone's hating each other and infighting. But at the same time, I feel like nothing bad is going to happen to our main cast. Like even season 3 did this better, where like Yang lost a fucking arm because of how shitty the situation was. That is a worse situation than what we're dealing with now in terms of like tension.
Yeah, what I'm not understanding is why are they not attacking? They're just circling, looking for a parking spot, like I said.
Last
Because
4 episodes, guys. It's canon.
okay, all right.
So there is the whole thing about siege warfare, um, but the siege warfare angle doesn't make as much. It does make sense, but it doesn't make as much sense with the main villain being immortal and the Grim.
Explain what that
being
is, please.
just a
What is it, Sage?
Okay.
Siege?
Siege warfare is basically like when you are attacking a defended area like Atlas with its shields. What you do is that you surround it and you basically wait them out. You wait until they dwindle their resources. You just send like little attacks constantly to keep them on guard and on edge until they just
like Crunchy one,
break.
like just okay. Let's send Crunchy out. Let's see what happens. Let's send whatever out, like little bits. Okay.
Yeah, like hit and run tactics. It's because if you just like march up an army like in the old days when you would have walls and bows and arrows and swords and stuff, you march up an army to like a defended location with the wall, you're gonna get shredded. You're gonna just get massacred. So siege warfare is to like keep your forces back out of the range of like arrows and artillery, and just like take pot shots at the wall and just stress the people out and make it to where they can no longer fight at full capacity.
And that makes sense to add negativity too. It makes sense.
Yeah, it feels more like in terms of going back to the chess like whole thing, it feels less like Salem's trying to get all the pieces, but it's more like Salem's pushing Ironwood into the position where he has to surrender. Because yeah, she could easily just like drop the whale on Atlas and just like kill everyone, and that's that. But then the maiden power goes to someone, she has to chase that up again. There's no guarantee that she would get the relic by that way. So it's a patient game, and that they did have a little mention in that elevator with episode 3 where we saw some Atlesian guys like talk about like almost worse that they didn't do anything. So
Step B, thanks for subbing.
The atmosphere of their presence is definitely an effect, especially with the negativity. But it feels like that's the other thing. We don't actually know what Salem's next plans are, because like every time that someone's been asking, "What do we do next?" especially Cinder, she's just said, "Wait." So we don't really know what her next plan is at the moment.
All right. I mean, she's very used to waiting.
Just taking her dog for a walk.
Only 2 more. Only 2 more subs to 1,000.
Really? 2? How did that happen? How come they're not showing up on
The
Streamlabs?
power of me.
Yes.
Wait, only 2? Oh, I can sort that out.
Okay. Jeez, how many?
Yeah. 998 subs. You got like 4 in the last like 40 seconds.
Yeah, but how come they didn't show up on the Streamlab thingy? But anyway.
Maybe people, because a lot of people have who they're subscribed to set to private. It happened! It happened!
No way!
Oh shit!
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I don't. Okay. I'm not. Are you serious?
All right, well, here is the 1,000 subscriber face reveal.
Was it seriously? Yeah, sure. I'll give you an ass cheek. Thank you guys. Oh my god.
Subscriber ass reveal.
Ass reveal?
Thank you.
Better than a face.
Hey! Now I hear it. I see it. Robert Fitzpatrick. Thank you.
Okay, whoever is like watching the stream right now, I want you to go into the description and click on the support ninja link. Right?
Sure. Sure. Hey.
Yeah, we gotta thank the real hero
Noel?
here.
No. Yeah, just test. Go into the description, click support ninja.
Why?
That's our payment.
Because there's nothing there. I think. I think you took it down.
404 error not found. Listen.
Well,
I
think we need to end the stream here because we're not gonna top this.
No. Well, I top everything. Hey, no. But...
You're gonna personally top all 1,000 of your subscribers.
You guys, thank you so much. I see the chat there. Yay. Oh, now I get to charge ad revenue. Yay.
All right.
You've been wanting this more than I have, Fatman. You're like, oh, come on, guys.
What if I unsubscribe and see back to
Don't do that shit. No, then everybody's gonna do it. Ain't no time for that.
I
How
was
rude.
actually thinking of doing it, earlier today. I was like, I wonder if I like unsubscribe to her.
Don't
Wait,
do
what's that,
these.
900?
No.
Motivate for 999
No.
and then come
I
mean,
get to celebrate
the
congrats
time-
on
the time has
under
passed.
1,000.
You
Yeah.
do that. No Christmas presents this year.
Hey, I'm cool with that, man. This is awesome. You know, I got some Ruby Tubers up in here. I never thought I'd be doing this in the first place. Holy shit. I really was a little bit like choked up, and I'm like, nope, I gotta be a big boy like you guys. Okay. All right, back to
The only
Ruby,
thing we
guys.
cry over is cartoons.
Well, that's
Yeah.
probably you.
The
but
true
yeah.
treasure.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. Let's see
No,
questions here.
genuinely, the last time I cried physically was at a cartoon. It was, God, it was a Netflix show. It was a podcast that turned into like an animated series. I'm trying to remember its name off the top of my head.
See, I just think of the Ricky Gervais show when you say that.
Well,
Oh, I
more
think I know. I
animated.
think I know which show you're talking
Midnight
about.
Gospel. Midnight Gospel. It is a goddamn heart wrencher of an episode where the guy has his mother on as like the podcast guest, and of course it's animated in this beautiful way. The animation is gorgeous, but the backstory or the story behind it is that at the time of recording the podcast, his mother has terminal cancer and only has a few months left to live. And I believe by the time the episode came out, the mother did pass away. But the podcast itself is talking about how you deal with losing someone. And the
Man.
mother is probably the most measured and like I can't even describe it. She's so prepared in the fact that you can just tell that she has went through this inner dialogue in her own mind and has prepared herself for this outcome, where she sounds completely not almost blasé with the fact that her time is almost up. She seems just so ready to go, and it
Content.
is content. That is the perfect word. You know, and it is heartbreaking. It made me ball up and cry like a
You're gonna
little
make
kid.
it crying in a sec. dude.
Yeah,
His
Jesus. It's
son-
like,
with
oof.
his son
All right.
talking to his mother about how he is about to lose her. It's
All right,
watch the
Fatman.
Midnight Gospel. It is on Netflix. I
Okay.
think the season finale is the episode with the mother. Go and watch it. It made me cry like a bitch. Cartoons make you cry.
Okay. Now it's your job to change the subject to something hilarious. Ready?
God,
Go, Fatman.
Ruby, guys.
Oh, guys, Ruby. Guys, how about Ren though?
No, for real. Okay, speaking of, yeah, that's what I was looking
Speaking of
through
emotional,
the comments.
Yeah.
Most of the
yeah.
comments were saying like I didn't like it so much because it was forced and they made him look like a bad guy. Or like not a bad guy, like he was at fault. I don't think so. I think it was perfect
No,
in
they
every way.
They made him look like he was at fault.
Yeah, like he was wrong.
No, he literally saved those ungrateful chumps from plummeting to their doom.
yeah,
I think, like, if you looked at that scene and thought Ren was portrayed as an obvious bad guy, then you need more nuance in your cartoon.
No, I changed the bad guy thing. I changed it to he was wrong. That's what a lot of people said. Like they didn't like
Oh,
how
he
he
was
was portrayed
wrong.
as he was
Well,
wrong.
yeah.
Maybe-
Being wrong and being a bad guy is different. I think
Mhm.
both sides of both sides of the argument, especially between Ren and Yang, have their positives and their negatives. That's the thing that I really kind of get frustrated with sometimes with like not just Ruby, but like a lot of these like, oh, the heroes are arguing. There has to be one side right, one side wrong. No, sometimes both sides can be the same.
Yep.
And it's just
Sorry.
one of those things where like I completely understand where both guys are coming from, and with both of them being very emotional. I mean, that's also another reason why I'm glad we got these mixed up teams, because we're getting some unique character interactions. Like we've never had a Ren and Yang
Exactly.
interaction like this before. Like the
Exactly.
closest was
Or any.
like one or two gags.
Yeah.
But
Just the
this
hug was the last
show
thing,
has-
wasn't it? The hug that they gave each
Maybe.
other in
That was-
Volume
that was
6?
Ren and Sean.
No,
The
no,
Volume
no.
6.
Oh no, that was
Yang and Ren.
No, Ren and Blake I think hugged.
No. Guys out there, was it?
more than hug.
It was
There was. Oh no, I do remember there was a hug when they were splitting up on the train. I don't remember which
Yeah.
between which two
Mhm.
people, but it's like,
Hmm.
I mean, like, you know, but like these are like the first times, and it kind of like, you know, casts the tragic comedy of the first 3 volumes that like we left Beacon not knowing who any of these people were.
Yeah,
It's
it goes back to that volume 2 bit with what when Weiss was like chastising Blake, saying we're not ready and we may never be ready.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the next generation of that. And again, I'm liking this dynamic between Ren, who is the self-admitted very poor with his emotions, very poor with expressing himself, and when he does, he tends to be like the bottle with the popped cork; it just all flows out.
Yep.
And then you got Yang, who is someone who has kind of been that as well, but she's also very blunt, and sometimes blunt is a good thing. I feel like that's kind of the thing that Ren needs at this moment, because some of the other guys have been very soft-handed with him. Even John later on, he tried, and that didn't work out. I think this was the point where like Ren needs to realize, okay, yeah, maybe I am screwing up because now I'm starting to say things that maybe the true feelings I had, like his lash out to Jean, but he doesn't want to be that kind of person where he's hostile to those around him.
Yeah.
And he's starting to regret that. That's why he's going outside and chilling.
He did try to say no. I better just not.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
Yang
and
pushed a little. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not like Yang, and I've slowly started to not like Yang since the end of Volume 6.
why is that?
Um, well, in Volume 7, a lot of it stemmed from her becoming kind of one note. Like, she was just the person that kept hanging out with Blake. And even, like, when they had the big Ruby Yang sister moment halfway through, or 2/3 of the way through Volume 7, Blake was there too. Like, it completely
Okay.
took any punch out of that scene. And now she's just, I get that she was always kind of irritable and stuff, but she's lacking that almost that big sister complex thing that made her endearing in the earlier volumes. Like, now
I think that might be kind of hard though, because she's
now
also
she's
balancing her own stuff.
like, she's just been a brat these last few episodes, and it's like, this is not the time to have this argument. Like, yes, it is a very important discussion to have, but out in the middle of the tundra as the sun is setting is not the best time to have this very conversation. And that's why I like Jean in this episode. Like, I really like
John's great. I actually
Yeah.
really like John.
but
I would say as well, like like we can obviously say like this isn't the right time to do that because we're looking from the outside in, but like we all had those moments where we can't really control our setting when we have these arguments and the scenario that we're in. But I can see your point.
I do like the idea, just thematically, that Ren is a character who has spent his entire life hiding his emotions, literally, with his semblance.
Yeah.
And, with that being bottled up, muddled up. And even in this situation, it was like, no, listen, you don't want to talk to me about this. Well, it's nothing. Let's keep going forward. And then Yang was like, listen, if you got something to say it. And it's like, all right, I think that you're adult enough to hear this, since we're adult enough to save the world, apparently. We are not. We've been fucking up. Like, I feel like the only thing better would have been to, instead of maybe shouting at Jean, like, oh my god, you snuck into Beacon, would be to mock Yang about when she broke Mercury's leg, like, live on camera. Because that was Yang's biggest moment of fucking up.
Yeah, but you can't really blame that on her because she wasn't like
Yeah,
it wasn't yeah.
The same way, you can't really blame a lot of this situation. Like, they are having to save the world right now. And that's not necessarily on them. They just chose to go forward with it.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of like be like, oh, but Ren is like wrong about that, and he's like not understanding. Like, yes, that is something he could definitely bring up, but I think the points they were the theme they were trying to get across in that scene was that they should listen to Ren, and having him bring up something that was like yes, like from everyone's perspective,
But we, the audience, would know.
We, the audience, would know to question.
No, I agree. Actually,
I think Ren is kind of wrong in the sense of thinking he's the only one who's taken note of they're very inexperienced. They're not really ready for this. I think everyone else already knows that, again, because it's something that especially like Team RWBY had to discuss before. But he's not wrong in general, because he does bring up some fair points. Again, the fact that they're not really ready for this. They failed numerous times.
They're doing
But
more harm than good.
yeah,
And
but
he
I
did
think
say that he's saying what everybody's thinking, you know?
yeah, I think that's the wrong approach that he could have gone. Because like when you say I'm the only one thinking this, it kind of comes off as a bit arrogant, which doesn't really fit Ren. But that just kind of shows his
But he wasn't,
stability
though.
right
No,
now.
he didn't say that.
I know,
Everyone
I know, but it's like those kind of words can
He's the
come
one
off that
who
way.
wants to say it.
Mm. The thing is, like for me, it seems like Ren is kind of doing the backward step of his issues with, I think it was in Volume 4, because he was obviously emotional then, and then he was going too far, and that's when
Yeah.
Nora came in. He was taking action too much because of his emotions, and now he's scared to take action because he's afraid of the things that he may lose that's related to those emotions. And it's caveating with the fact that the further away he's trying to push his emotions, trying to think logically, it's also him pushing away the people that he cares about that is not there to help him stay on the path.
He just
And
doesn't know how to do it.
obviously, the moment he gets back to Nora, that is going to be an interesting scene. Because that's going to be the cross point for him where he decides, you know, I'm going to press on forward. I'm not going to do anything. Or this is the time where he finally starts to realize maybe I need to start thinking about the people I'm caring about, because if I'm not there to help them, this could go worse.
And speaking of Nora, and it was the episode before, you know, when she had that little talk as to I don't know who I am without him. What did you think about that, Dan? Because I don't remember watching your thing
I
yet.
really like it. Nora has been one of my favorite characters because I think she's been pigeonholed in a lot of people's minds of being just the comedic relief when
Pinkie Pie.
she's
Mhm.
she's the Pinkie
And she really did act like Pinkie
Pie,
Pie
where
there.
even Pinkie Pie in the show, she has mature moments where she can
Oh, yeah.
understand the emotions around her. Like that
She
favorite,
needs
one of my
like that moment from that season 7 episode, the one with
Yeah.
the book, where she's like coming out like to everybody like I'm not always like this. Like she needs
Yeah.
like that specific
Yeah.
moment. And
one of
that's
my
kind
favorite
of-
moments from Volume 2 was when she just said, "Practice what you preach, Pyrrha." That for me was the moment that I realized, oh yeah, there is more to this character than just the hijinks. And by the way, Samantha Island is for me the most consistent voice actress in the show for me, because she is on top of it with her jokes, on top of it with her emotion. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling a bit, but I
That's
talked
okay.
about it
Go
earlier.
ahead. Go ahead.
And yeah, for me, I really enjoyed that moment because again, it's taking advantage of a unique pairing that she's with, talking with Blake, who is someone had to deal with her own relationship issues,
Yes.
and Weiss, who is someone who had to find her own identity away from the people
Right.
most attached to her, her family. And those are the issues that Nora's having right now. She's trying to find her identity. She's also trying to balance her relationship.
How did you feel about how quick that was to find the answer right then and there? She was the only one that can do this. Like,
I don't know if she's found that answer.
No, she,
No, with-
she thinks she found the answer.
no, Ninja, you were even saying like how quick it was to like, oh, what can Nora do? And then it was like right then and there.
Yeah. In the situation of man, I wonder if there's anything I can do. Then yeah, she was immediately presented a situation where she could do something. But I suppose a more philosophical character question of like who am I is like it's more than I think the whole point of Nora is that she is Morven is the strong person and hits stuff. She is the optimism that keeps this team going. And you know, that's going to take more than the immediately presented answer that she could give to the door thing.
Yeah. It's
'Cause
not
that's just
wrong.
a semblance power. That wasn't
Yeah.
that wasn't anything to do with Nora. She was just born with a semblance that did that.
It's not wrong to think that a part of who you are is the people that you surround yourself with and how you react with them. A part of you is how you handle relationships, and I think that is a big part of it. Oh God, he's in it, isn't he?
I see you,
What is happening right now?
you pigeon
in-
bastard.
In the comment in the stream chat.
Oh, Raymond. Scared me. I'm like, that doesn't sound like anybody I invited. What is going on?
Hey, Raymond.
Hi,
Hey.
Raymond. Hey. Okay.
Raymond, you missed Dashy hitting 1,000.
I know.
How dare you?
Oh, don't worry, I'll unsubscribe so that you can do it again.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, Mom, you got the camera this time?
Smile.
But anyway. Yeah, no, that's what I was just talking about, was like how fast it was. The solution to what she was saying, who am I and what can I do, and
Nah,
then she does it.
I don't think
So-
it's the solution, it's the first step.
Sure. You know what I mean? Like, it was like really quick. Is what I'm
Yeah.
I
saying.
know what you mean. I mean, as you're right, I commented on it. I was like, I feel like I don't know what I can do. Hey,
Wait.
Nora, here's a situation that only you can fix. Do you feel like a
Yeah.
complete character yet?
Hey, Matthew.
She,
Thanks for
she
joining.
believes it was the answer, but there's still more to come.
Yeah.
And I absolutely agree with her talking to Blake about it because of the whole I don't know who I am without this person, and then the whole Adam thing. I get it and everything. I didn't think about the Weiss thing. That's for sure. I just
That one strikes me as odd. It's like, okay, Blake giving advice about, not to be all your partner is, that's coming from Adam. Ren is not Adam.
I think it's
Well,
coming
no,
from Adam and
distinction
Ruby.
there.
It's
Not
still,
Ruby and Yang.
it's still applicable. And
yes, it
see,
is. Mhm.
my takeaway from that whole thing, and the more recent episode really made it click for me, because I've been a little like confused as to what is even going on with Ren and Nora this volume. But this most recent episode, even though Nora didn't even have a line, it like actually clicked for me with what Ren said. Because so much of Nora's personality that is, unique amongst the Ruby cast, a lot of that was very
Dashing
much
though the snow of
purposely.
the
It's like a
Trunda
play
on a
charge.
one-horse
Thank you
open
so much.
sleigh over
Play charge
fields we
just
go.
hey, thank you so much. Sorry, media. Thanks. Blood to charge you.
$5 donation.
Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead. Media.
Dashing through the
But,
snow on a
so-
Trunda one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go.
Poor media.
Dashy's fucking yeah.
That was me getting a
Only half gay. Only half gay.
uh, but yeah, so much of Nora's personality is in contrast to Rin, and it clicked for me that Rin and Nora are the only ones who have actually seen like the Grim win. Like even with the fall of Beacon, the Grim had help from the White Fang, Roman hacking all the Atlesian mechs and stuff, and even then they were only able to like destroy Beacon, a single school, and not like the entire city of Vale. Um, Red and Nora were there for Kuro Yuri, and they also know that it was that same pack of Grim that destroyed um the place where they fought Tyrion. Onigiri? Was it that?
Ren's
yeah.
village, whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's Kuro Yuri, and before that,
Yeah,
there was
Kuro Yuri was the Knuckleavi
yeah.
later on. Onigiri was first.
Yeah. And so it makes sense that Rin and Nora would be a little more like, hey guys, the Grim, they're not always fodder, and I can see it frustrating. I can see why it would frustrate Rin that Nora isn't like focusing on the here and now. That Nora is more like Team RWBY, being like, no, we got to keep the big picture in mind at all times. And that's where part of my issue with this volume has been, which is both of these things are important. There is no actual need to like argue over priorities because both of these things are things that need to be done.
Mhm.
And
They just need to get to that understanding of that.
yeah, like I think RWBY understands that. It seems like Weiss and Blake are also understanding of that, and maybe Jean too, because Jean was the one who proposed that they split up.
Yeah. The problem is some of them we feel like maybe would agree with both sides, but maybe they sided with one just to help out so that they didn't have unbalanced teams. It's kind of hard to like judge where they stood on things. Like Blake, Weiss, they could have gone one way. But no, I see your point there.
I'm glad. I will say I cannot praise this enough. I am glad that at least one of them, other than Ironwood, realizes that if they fuck this up, they don't lose half of it. They lose everything.
Yeah.
The staff, the maidens, and 2 cities worth of a kingdom's worth
Yeah.
of people
Mm.
because they are currently infighting on what the current situation is.
And possibly the whole world because Atlas has the biggest military of on the
Yeah.
planet, and so like
Yeah.
if it goes down, Vale, Vacuo, and Mistral are just gonna be a walk in the park for Salem.
Yeah, though Ironwood still thinks
and-
he's the only one who has that force, even though if you read the
Yeah.
books, the Vacuo Skull has got a decent army as well. Not the same strength level, but they got their own forces.
So and with that, it also made some of my complaints with Volume 7 go away because I was also a little like put off by Rin. I didn't really get what his motivation was or where he was coming from until now. I was like, oh, yeah, that actually makes almost perfect sense. The only thing that is wrong with it is the fact that like every professional huntsman we have met up to this point has been a fucking scrub. but, but at the same time, being strong isn't going to beat Salem. Like it's not about how strong they are. Like no matter how strong they are, it doesn't matter. Salem's immortal. I think that
It's not how strong they are singular; it's how strong you are together.
Yeah, in making the tough decisions and making the really long term plays in order to keep Salem from winning constantly, and it like just right now as I was rambling, it also clicked in me for me why he reacted the way he did in Volume 6. Like, oh my god, they actually did something good across like with a character thread that lasted effectively 4 volumes. We'll ignore volume 5, so we'll say volume 4, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh.
Yeah, that that was my soapbox.
Okay.
No, I agree, and I also like a side thing. I'm glad. I like that we're going beyond Ren and Nora as a relationship in terms of like, oh, the only thing that most people think is like the capping of their growth is when they finally confess, because that just irritates me sometimes when romance arcs is just, oh, we get to the confession, we get to the first kiss, and that's it. But like, no, they had the kiss. It's clear now to both of them what the feelings are, but there's other factors that is causing some extra drama, and that's stuff that I enjoy. I want to see beyond that, and I'm glad we're getting it.
Good stuff. I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all in all, Ren did nothing wrong. Okay, don't want to hear it.
No, yeah, Ren didn't do anything wrong.
No, no.
Also, the lighting in that scene was just fantastic.
Yeah, and Neith was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, Neith is, for someone who doesn't have a lot of voice acting experience, I think he is doing fantastic for what he's able to. Obviously, like if you would like slip in a professional voice actor, they would be able to go like a step beyond. But that's like not to like kind of self promote, but when I do my voice acting gold star bit in my reviews, I don't give it to like the absolute best. I give it to the one that I'm most impressed with, and for me, that was Neith in this.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, you say that. You say, like, oh, if a professional actor got in, but, like, listen to the actual professional actor scenes in this episode.
Jason Liebrecht as Crow.
Yeah, and Christina V as Robin Hill, and Chris Sabat as Watts. It's like,
I mean,
Watts is fine.
Watts is fine, but, like, you know, Neith nailed it. And all these professionals are over here like phoning it right the fuck in.
Again, Chris Scott's always been kind of like that, but
but you know, you were saying that earlier, Kaito, that Noro was like the most consistent. And honestly, before the last episode, I would have said that Weiss is actually the most.
I was going to mention something about that. Like, Weiss was consistent.
I would rectify my statement to say one of.
Okay.
Yeah, like Weiss has always been so impressive that, like, even from Volume 1, she has always nailed her delivery. But "Go to Your Room" was the worst line delivery I think I've heard in RWBY. Maybe the Yang line in Volume 1, "Can everybody just chill out for a second before something else crazy happens?" or that line still the worst. But like, "Go to Your Room" was so bad, and coming from like the most, in my opinion anyway, the most consistent actor in the show, I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
And the official RWBY account is like posting it everywhere and memeing it to hell, and I'm just like,
I mean,
not that
it's a
one,
it's a
please."
good pose for memes.
What did you think about that, Dan? Because I know what these guys thought about that. About
What of
go to your room.
I'll go to your room.
I didn't have any real issues with it. It's a very brief line. I don't usually note any kind of like poor quality when it comes to those kind of things unless it's like very noticeable. I also think like I don't think Weiss herself was really giving it her all because maybe I think she's got a lot on her plate at the moment. That's one other thing I had with this issue is like people were saying like, why is Weiss being so aggressive to Whitley when Willow said take care of him? Like she's also trying to make sure that she's getting into the place where she can be safe, making sure Nora's okay. There's a lot on her plate. But as for that line itself, I didn't have any issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was weird for me too. Like I was like, whoa, what's going on?
I don't know.
Especially when Whitley was like calming down and was like, okay, what will you have me do then, sister?
I think she was given bad direction. I think she was told to read the line as if she was getting back at Whitley for like existing. I guess this is why you can't just have characters that exist for the sole purpose of being the butt of a joke.
Yeah.
You got because you kind of have to constantly validate why they are the butt of the joke. And with this line in Whitley, it's like it doesn't work because it's an out of place delivery. Like she should be more concerned in this situation, not bratty.
Yeah, or like at the very least, have Whitley actually be in the way. Like in the commentary, not to continuously harp on this, but they were saying, "Oh yeah, we wrote this scene so that you remember how much of a dingus Whitley was." And I'm like, if you hear me talk about that in my top 10 scenes, because it was one of them, it's like, no, he's not. He's like, "Oh, hey, it's you, you know, my sister." And
I would also
it's like
say
pointing out that he's like still salty about being left behind effectively.
Yeah.
And it's like
I think this
think
was another
Whitley's
scene
done
where you
nothing
could say.
wrong. Go ahead.
I think this is another scene where you could say you can understand both sides. Whitley's obviously not had anyone around at the moment, like no staff's there. Willow's up in a room, so no one to comfort him. And obviously, it's not Willie's fault. He is who he is. That's his father's fault. Which, can I rant?
Do it.
Go for it.
I don't get I got a person on my channel, and I don't want to like bash him because you're entitled to your opinion, but I don't get why someone's saying like, "Oh, I can't hate on a hate scene character." Like I made a brief joke about the scene with Jacques having a fly in his prison, and he said, "Oh, you just can't help yourself." I'm like, what kind of reaction do you want me to have for a character who has given me no reason to like him?
A hate scene character?
Hate sync.
Oh, a hate. Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get it.
Basically, a character that is.
Your sole purpose is to hate them, and they have
Yeah.
like.
Yes.
Like, I agree that with Jacques. Like Jacques, I don't think has any redeeming qualities about him whatsoever.
He's done so
just
many bad
designed-
things. He's never even apologized. Even the
Jacques-
writers have outright stated he is a character you're supposed to hate.
Well,
So
Jacques is.
why can't I mock that?
Yeah, you're right. Like, I feel like Jacques is such a lame character, not just because, oh, you're meant to hate him, but just because it's meant to justify everything that Weiss has done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're meant to go, oh, this is where Weiss got it from. But, I don't know.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah,
Yay.
just like going back on topic. Sorry, I had to like. Get
Oh, by
off
the
my
way,
chest
why
'cause it
can't
just
you do
pissed me
that?
off.
You could do whatever you want. Okay, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Sorry, I've just had him for like a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
Just getting on, and I was like, dude, seriously, come on.
Yeah, no big deal, man. No big deal.
But yeah, I completely understand that you should have a bit of a softer. Weiss should have a bit of a softer touch with Whitley at the moment. But at the same time, I'm also thinking the context of the scenario. Whitley did kind of start off hostile at first, and they've had years of very on again, off again, like some sourness between. And also, I'm speaking as an older brother. I have that relationship sometimes with my brother, and it's not the best sometimes, but hey, it's not the worst. And you can't really judge that all the time for me. At least that's for me. I can understand why someone else is maybe not on the same page with that.
Again, I feel like this show has just a big problem with not being able to decide if it is like a rom comedy, like a fucking
Mm.
hoo hoo ha he, loads of jokes, kind of like Gurren Lagann style comedy, or if it's like a serious drama, desperate show like Game of Thrones, where
Mm.
we're meant to feel right now that this is a super horrible, tense situation,
Yeah.
and that this could be the last time that Weiss sees her brother, because her
Mm.
brother could fucking die tomorrow for all this situation
Hmm.
is volatile. And really, the last thing she says to him is, "Go to your room."
Again, I think it was just like,
I-
okay, I need to prioritize Nora for the moment. When I know she's okay, I'll come and sort you out and discuss things then. Um, but yeah, I didn't really have that much issue with this scene compared to like the scene last volume when I would have had Weiss outwitted Whitley rather than him being turned away after getting food chucked on him. I think that would have been a better use of a more serious moment versus a comedic moment. Whereas this, I feel, was serious, but with a tinge of comedy.
Hmm.
But yeah, like oh God, what was I gonna say?
My bad.
Okay.
No. It's not your fault. My brain farted. Yeah, it made more sense last season. With this season, it I don't know, man. Like Whitley, I'm not gonna say she should absolutely be nice to Whitley. Like that's
I
fair. You've been a little shit for like
yeah,
all of your childhood. That's cool. He's also a child. Like he is
yeah.
younger than Ruby, I believe, when the show started.
I think he's younger
Yeah,
than
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like
The dude looks
age.
like 12, maybe 14 at most.
Hmm.
And
I
Weiss,
think
being a dead ass near adult woman,
mm,
is just
I think
like
another thing would be as well. Another thing is like we don't know like how often they did interact with each other while they were there. Like he was brought up to be stuck by pretty much Jacques' side all the time, and then of course the time where Weiss was away. That's a lot of like gap time where you don't have that familiar bond with all the time, so you can best address it all the time. But I think even like Weiss's risk hostile, I think that's gonna get addressed in whenever they do talk.
I would want
Yeah,
the mom. Like Weiss saves the day, right? If they win and everything's cool and peaceful, and the
I
mom is like, "No, I'm disappointed in you,"
I
because
want there to be a scene where all four are there: Willow, Weiss, Whitley, and Winter, because I think they need that now without
yeah,
Jacques around.
Weiss, thank you for saving the family. I don't forgive you for throwing Whitley to the side. I would like you to leave or something like that. Your place is not
yeah.
here.
Well, Willow is in the opening, so she
Yeah,
is
I,
most
I feel
likely
she will
going to
be.
be in the
I would.
show. And
Oh,
Go ahead, media.
I
go
mean,
ahead. Go ahead.
Adam was in the Volume 4 opening, and he didn't show up at all. So there is
Junior, Militia, and Malachi were in one opening and they only featured for one episode.
yeah, they were featured in one episode. And granted, it was in that volume. Uh, so I do think that they are purposely doing something with Weiss, and that they will like address her relationship with Whitley.
It will start argumentative at first.
Yeah, I would totally approve if Willow like disinherited Weiss too.
That's
Because
not
in
gonna
Volume
happen.
4, you got the scene where it was like, "Oh, Jacques, and I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna make you not the heiress." Blah 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 blah. But then if in like this volume, Willow was like, "You had one job, and that was to take care of Whitley, so I didn't have to, and you didn't do it. You're out too."
That's a question I want to ask you guys. Like, in terms of like Endgame, who would you rather have lead the SDC? Who do you think would be the most fitting character to lead it, Weiss or Whitley? Because I think Winter is going to end up leading the military, wherever what happens with Ironwood. But the SDC, I always flip flop between: is it better for Weiss to have that?
I
Well,
mean, I literally have negative care for that, so
well,
you
if you
guys
had to pick, all right, just fucking pick. I would pick Whitley because he's like he knows all the business. Like he follows his father the way, even the bad stuff. But once he cleans up like his act a little bit, but he does know the business end, from what I understand.
yeah.
Because Weiss doesn't want to do any of that stuff, and she's not going to give it her all. and Whitley definitely cares about status and all that. Would keep up the family business. I mean, he's got a large stuffed animal collection that costs a lot of
I
money.
would like I would like Whitley to be the better Shock. Even for Whitley to go, yeah, I mean, I think we've had scenes already where like, no, father is pretty good at what he does. So he's already like on board. But if he would like realize like, no, I'm gonna be the better version of father.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Yeah,
But
what-
I would
what was
also
the
want
line?
like, bitch, Winter joined the military. You fucked off to go save the world. I am holding this family together. My dad is in jail twice, and my mom is a drunk alcoholic. Do you know how hard it is? Listen, I have seats on the council. I took them from Ironwood. They're mine now.
I've been forging Dad's signature on all of the checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I
Yeah.
got a question here from the Anime Guy RWBY Critics podcast. Is it odd that the Alice military has not engaged the large ass whale with their point defense systems we know they have back in Volume 3? And he means the ship, I mean, he said.
No. Well, when you have ships and stuff like that, you want to keep them like in the defensive position. Otherwise, you engage that whale, you are just like opening yourself up for an insurgents.
What he said,
And
I don't
it,
know. Yeah, I
it
just
would
wonder
not
why.
it would not be tactically good. Now, if they had like long range missile defenses, which I think they should, it would kind of depend on whether they would have to drop their shields in order to fire said missiles. Like I don't. One thing that is kind of frustrating me is I don't know where things are in relation to everything else. Like I don't know where the whale is in relation
He
to Atlas
he was
and
right there.
in
Like,
relation to
remember when they flew off
yeah,
and Crunchy was going
but
to go to the whale? He was right there. They were right there, next to Atlas.
but then in this episode because they were in Mantle, which is underneath Atlas, and the Hound flies off to like the tundra where like Amity Coliseum is, and then meets up with the whale out there. It's again, I want like a One Piece style map of like where everyone is right now. That's something that Oda always does when his arcs start getting like kind of chaotic. Is every chapter he'll have like a map showing like where everyone is in relation to each other, and then the chapter will progress, and he'll keep doing that until things settle down. I think Ruby would benefit from something like that.
Yeah, but yeah, like Kersha, exactly. I would have thought something would have happened by now, like something bigger than just sending Crunchy, like something bigger. But yeah,
Well, yeah.
let's see.
I don't know.
So you think those scars are gonna stay for Nora?
Yes.
They
At
better.
least I hope so.
They better is right.
I would
Like,
like
I hope so much. I know somebody said that IRL they don't stay, but orange
They
orange
only
scars,
fade
yo.
when Red shows up.
I mean, you'll find that a lot of things in RWBY are not similar to IRL.
Yes, we know that. Thanks.
yeah. No, they disappear, but every time she uses her semblance, they show back up.
That would be lame.
Like the Avatar state.
I don't know. I mean, that'd be a better way of doing Super Saiyan than just having, I mean, the Yang Super Saiyan is just she goes Super Saiyan, right? But Nora Super Saiyan just having, I guess that'd be closer to what Deku does with full cowling, right? Where like the electricity is on the skin. God, they're doing more anime homework. No, you can't keep getting away with this.
So a lot of people were mentioning that, I'm going to say you guys, even though they said you guys, and I do not count myself in this because there's no way I would love this. How much did you guys like the torture scene for Oscar? I like Ninja said, I don't need to see like a little kid being beat up by
no,
Giga Chad, big, Giga Hazel. So,
Giga Hazel. I mean, yeah, it served its purpose.
but There's Raymond and Fatman that are clapping.
I like
Hercules, Hercules.
yeah, I liked it better when it was Salem
Yeah, me
doing
too.
the
Me too.
just because like it really felt like they were hammering away, like she was hammering away at Oscar with a sledgehammer, and then Hazel comes in with like a little baton.
What?
Like it really felt like Hazel's punches were not going to be as effective
Yeah.
as unlimited power.
That was the I don't mean to counter you, but that feels like it was the whole point. Like Salem knew exactly that she could do this herself a lot easier if she just tortured him for a bit. But it would make Hazel feel a shit ton better to just get 10 minutes with Ozpin on his own
I agree.
to beat the shit out of him for what he did to his sister.
It's like that base fire, like I got you for 3 minutes.
I got
3
you for
minutes of me time.
minutes. But yeah, I felt like that was the whole point. It was great. I loved that scene.
I want Oscar to be like, oh man, Ozpin, this really sucks, but I'm glad we're in it together.
And he's
Ozpin,
gone. Yeah, Ozpin. Yeah.
Ozpin.
Remember back in like
Oh.
season 5 when they introduced Hazel? Like he was with Oscar traveling on the train or the train track.
Yeah, that was Volume 4.
And he was the fucking coolest villain
Yeah.
since Roman. The way that they had him was like, yeah, I don't talk much, or like,
Don't let a simple obstacle like this get in your way, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Just steal from this train station.
Like I do.
Good old Hazel.
Ryan Carson says, "Do you guys think that Sam will finally confront the heroes and Ironwood's forces and kill someone? If so, who?"
who? Sorry,
Salem will confront
Oh,
the
Salem.
heroes.
Well, I mean, sure, why not?
I don't think anybody's gonna. I don't think she's gonna kill anybody. Not yet. I think we're waiting for something.
I think if she kills anyone, it'll be like Ironwood. I don't see her like even really having a major confrontation with any other character this volume.
Yeah, look,
Like-
I want Salem to be faking the whole
Like me
thing.
and Hazel. Oh, sorry about your boo boos. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like
Oh, hey.
emotionally faking. I
Sorry,
mean like
got a donation.
We need
Blade to charge it
WWE
up.
announcers for Hazel betting up
Hey.
Oscar if they show more of JT.
like-
Yeah,
No,
we
like-
need WWE announcers for them. Okay. When, what do you say?
Like-
That's funny. Thank you, Blade Charge. Yes. Yes, I agree. Ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
I want the reason that Salem stopped zapping Oscar is because she was just legitimately out of energy. Like, I want her to be weak. I want her to not actually be able.
Oh, that's
do this
interesting.
thing.
That's I definitely will forgive that 100% because it would just be like her personality that did that shit.
Yeah, like she's all face. Like she's
Yeah.
got no bite. She's
Face
all
and
bark, no
veins,
bite.
face and veins. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
well
She's
that's
out of
like-
energy. Like, you know, Ozpin is talking about himself being out of energy. He's like, oh, I gave all my energy to the maidens, and now I can barely turn two nerds into birds. And I can only do that because it
That rhymed.
Dude.
yeah, nerds to birds is Ozpin's semblance. But yeah, no, I want like Salem to be out of energy too, and for her to just be like, yeah, I know I can do some cool stuff, but like I got like 2 minutes tops, and then I gotta go take a bath with some aloe vera and insects.
Who's aloe vera? Is she hot? Cool.
Actually, I'm surprised that's not a name of a RWBY character yet.
Yeah, right? Right?
that's the
Alavera
thing, like,
incest.
What media?
we know that she's immortal. That doesn't mean that she's omnipotent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, you try working towards the same fucking goal for like 2 years of working on a Volume 6 review.
Oh god. Oh god.
And now imagine doing that for like 100,000 years, except instead of a Volume 6 review, it's taking over the world. Like, you'd be burnt out too.
Okay. All right. Courtney Calvert says, "How do you all think Oscar is going to escape? I think he'll unlock his semblance, teleportation, Dorothy, and get himself out. What do y'all think? Because I guess
Oh.
you know she thinks it's
I
Dor-
think
or he-
I think that's viable. I do think I do think it would actually be more realistic for Oscar to escape on his own rather than Yang, Jean, and Ren
That would be awesome.
somehow staging a rescue and both getting in and out without getting
Yeah.
like destroyed by like Mercury, Hazel, Tyrion, and Salem, who are all like there.
Yeah, I'm tired of like hearing that Oscar is not a character. What the hell? He's a character. I mean, I think so. Whatever. But like that would be so much interesting for him to do something on his own for once too. That's another one that I want to see him do more things with. And
That
no,
would
beating
be
Neo
pretty
up doesn't count because holy shit, it's Neo. Why? Why? That didn't happen. Nope.
It's not canon, guys.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. You guys have any?
I mean, I want Neo to get really jealous of Salem constantly taking credit, or not Salem, but Cinder constantly taking credit for her accomplishments, and then just like steal Ozpin or Oscar.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Like, yeah, for Salem to walk up, see Oscar just like hanging there in the in the grim, in Crunchy, and then for her to go zap him, but
it's illusion. Yep. Oh my god, that'd be awesome. Oh my god, hell yeah.
And then she's like, Cinder, I know you fight with glass, even though that's not your semblance. And then just repeat the whole scene from season.
She talks. She said that. Cool. So you think yeah, so let's go. What's the other one?
I called it at the beginning of the season, and if it comes true, I'm gonna be
Dan?
Titanic. The idea that fucking the one to die this season is Ironwood, but he dies dropping the entirety of fucking the city on top of Salem and just takes her out of the game for a little bit. She'll come back, obviously, but that buys Ruby and crew time to get their ass over to the final continent, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I think it's gonna play out. Or at least how I would play it out, in that Ironwood realizes he's not going to win this, realizes that maybe Ruby, had a point in there, and in his last act of being a good person, decides, all right, Ruby, I'm going to give you the best chance you've got, and he drops the fucking city on Salem. That would be amazing.
And of course, Ruby's going to be like, no, I have to do it.
Oh, you
and he's like, really?
No, what?
And his last... Literally, as the city's fallen, he just takes a seat on his seat at the council. He looks at the other seat and he puts his foot on it.
Jesus.
I love it. I love it.
I mean,
he just lines up all the seats and lays on them. Like,
yeah.
it feels even more like certain that we are going to have something full because of the new song had like a lot of fallen connotations to it.
It's good to be the king.
I think I think it's a little bit. For me, obvious that it's going to fall. There's so many, not just I don't even know what the song says.
I mean,
but it's just
the staff,
right there.
right? The staff of power. As soon as that's taken out, that city's going down.
Let's see. The anime guy, Ruby Critic Postcat says, "Isn't it very odd that there's a lift system connected to Atlas from Mantle, and there are no guards guarding the damn facility to prevent what happened in that scene?"
Well, it's the package delivery. They probably didn't expect people to take the Futurama tubes.
Yeah, and apparently they're painful. Poor Weiss. Poor Weiss.
Yeah.
Weiss getting sucked off was amazing.
Greatest military commander Ironwood did not think, maybe a person could fit up there.
Well, he's also someone who doesn't have a security camera in his office. So he thinks about all like the probable, but not the realistic, and he doesn't counter for that. One thing I wanted to talk about as well is like I'm. What?
Sorry, you made me laugh. Ironwood doesn't plan for the realistic. It just shows that he's aware that he's in RWBY. He knows that the RWBY world is just bullshit, and if things actually happened the way that it was meant to, that things wouldn't work anyway.
It's just one thing I noted as well is like we're having, because Cinder said that she's gonna go check out Amity Tower, so she's going to the old Coliseum, and that means we're gonna have Cinder, Emerald, and Penny in the place where Penny died. So I think there's gonna be like a round 2 there, and if Penny's hacked at that point, that could be like Penny, serious, no morals, goes for the kill against Cinder, and maybe Emerald will try and sacrifice herself, or at least try and help out, and ends up being sacrificed.
I just want to give Fatman a cookie for not saying, but she didn't die though. Thank you, Fatman. Good boy. Oh, good boy.
The only reason I didn't say it was for that was for exactly that.
And you're the crunch, and now I'm putting the biscuit on your nose. No.
I-
Okay, good boy.
If I was on cam, you would have saw me like.
I know.
I thank you for letting me ramble.
Thank you. Let's see here.
I think Neo is gonna rat Cinder out and basically take her place. Just be like, you bitch.
No, I really think what Fatman says. I think that's more possible now that like he cleared it out.
I think
That-
Neo just wants to get out of here. I think she's immediately regretting this and wishing she went to Vacuo instead.
Neo is not about, or at least everything that we've seen so far, Neo's not about the world domination. Neo is
Yeah,
about
no.
stabbing Ruby.
No. She's about survival.
What? A revenge.
Well, that too.
Okay, do you think there's going to be a scene where Neo is like disguised as Ruby, or honestly anyone, but they do that like twins in the mirror thing, like the Tom and Jerry mirror scene, where
What,
they
like
both do the same thing?
They're going to have to,
The
and I
Doink
bet
the
your
Clown?
ass they're gonna like rely on. They're gonna use Ruby character development to the way that you tell her apart. Like, see, it'd be great if like they tried that and it didn't work. It's like, well, I'm sorry, you kind of act like you did in season 3.
Saying that, I am curious what Emerald meant by she's been working on her semblance. Like,
Well, I mean, she tricked 3 people into not seeing her while she was in the hallway eavesdropping on Salem, Neo, and Cinder.
Fair enough.
Better
But
than- better
I'm
than
wondering
2.
if that's like in terms of headaches or like she can make more realistic.
Probably. I think semblance are
hallucinations.
like a muscle. I think the more you practice them.
And remember in Volume 5, when she thought Cinder died, she like cast an illusion that everyone saw.
Yeah, but then she
And
fainted
it made-
afterwards
and
as
it made
well.
her- and it made her pass out. So
Yeah.
maybe she can do that now without passing out.
There's like the fight between Cinder and Penny again in the Amity Stadium, but it's even more swords this time.
Oh God.
And then she'll die. All right. Aura Master DX says, "Do you guys think Cinder will stay dead after the backstory?"
No, we're gonna have. From what I see, they're gonna have Cinder be the anti-hero who comes around to help Ruby in the final battle.
Oh.
I
That's how
can
it's
see
gonna
Neo doing that, not Cinder.
No. Neo, gosh no. Neo hates Ruby the most. out of
No,
all
she
of
just
the
doesn't know what really happened.
Ugh.
I think
Even
Neo,
if
I
Neo
think Neo
knew.
will try, but I think in the end she'll just think this ain't worth it anymore, and she will think about herself. Because I think in the end, the most important thing to her is living,
Like-
and I think Cinder's the kind of person who's more focused on revenge rather than anything else herself. And yeah, I think after we get through at long last the flashback stuff and we learn everything about Cinder and finally get the breakdown between her and Salem, I think that's it. You can't go much further with that after falling out with Salem, getting her ass kicked again. And that would be another big month as well for Salem. Was like, I'm having no more bullshit. This is all about my plans. Yoink those maiden powers away, and that's it.
I
Yeah.
will say, I have to bounce. It has been
Okay.
a pleasure.
Thanks
No
for
worries.
joining, Ninja. Thank you.
Thanks for joining.
Sorry, I couldn't make it to the end.
He needs to be a ninja and bounce.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
See ya next week.
All
Take
right,
care.
Have a good weekend, guys. Catch you all later.
Later.
See you on Saturday for the recording.
Yes.
boys.
Yes.
Like to see you.
Ciao.
Ciao. All right, Brian Carson. Dashi, I love you. You're a sweetheart, but Oscar is a meat suit for Ozpin. That's why he exists. That's why we didn't get to see him develop on screen in Volume 6. The writers forgot that he was there. Aw, he thinks I'm a
That's
sweetheart.
harsh.
Okay, next. Okay. Well, sure. Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. I,
I
want
think
to
that's a
see
very-
him. He wouldn't be there. He needs to be there. That's why he's there. Sure. Meat suit is still part of his character. There you go. But
Yeah,
anyway.
it's his identity to not be the meat suit, but I don't think they forgot. They just haven't done the best job with the character
Yeah.
until I would say
Yeah.
the most recent volumes.
They
Yeah.
didn't forget. They just inadvertently didn't show it.
Yeah.
It's completely different from forgetting. Like they say in the commentary, we didn't retcon anything. We just changed it after the fact.
Let's see. The anime guy for RWBY's Critics Podcast. A friend told me that the only way Salem's actions makes any sense is that she lived for so long that Remnant is literally her playground, and that she's putting on a show for her own entertainment. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I don't think she's the type that would enjoy those kind of thrills, because then she'll think that could get in her way of her plans.
No, I don't. That doesn't even. I mean, her motivation is that she wants to die. She wants to end it. Like she
Yeah.
doesn't like being trapped in this mortal coil.
Yeah.
Immortal coil.
Cinder is the one that like relishes in like the thrill of like being the one most likely to like when she was going up against Jean, she was having like a lot of fun, like mocking and teasing rather than going for the kill, whereas Salem in that position would just end it and then enjoy the victory.
I
She's
wish.
fed up.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
She's had enough. She wants to take her dogs out for a walk. She wants to give the good scratches behind the ears. She's not having enough of any of her workers except for Hazel, who he gets a punching bag for Christmas, and
Jesus.
that's it. She's had enough. She's not taking any more bullshit, and that is just the crux of her character at the moment.
Let's see here. So our master says they should kill Marrow or be smarter with his semblance.
I mean, I would like that, but when was the last time they did anything for my benefit?
Okay. And
mean,
yes,
they-
Austin.
Yeah, they didn't even show Callie in Volume 6. It has been a long time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You guys
It
complain.
would be
I haven't-
so easy to just placate my wrath, and they just don't do it.
You
They're
guys
gluttons
complain.
for
I haven't
punishment.
seen Velvet
Ah, yes.
since Volume 3. I'm
Oh.
suffering here, even with the books.
Yeah.
Where's my best bun?
Best bun. Aw. And yes, Austin, she got sucked off, and I love it.
Ass first, by the way.
As what? Ass first? Oh my god! Fuck! I didn't realize that. That's beautiful.
That was the first thing I was like, man, fucking kudos to Weiss for like just taking that ass first.
Blade Charge, you missed it. We all love the fact that they're taking a break. We do.
Yeah.
I'm fizzling. Fizzling. Oh,
Falling.
Is that-
I have gotten really good at decrypting Blade Charge's typos. Yes, he meant to hit an A, but Z is right there. So
okay, yeah.
Let's see.
Alright.
We're gonna, you know, what? I can never get this. Cool it down. Wind down. That's why I can never get those fucking words. But got a couple more questions here.
Because you can never wind down.
I
you always
can't.
had a
I'm
10.
always yeah.
We're gonna turn it down for what?
Turn down for all right. Good one. Okay. Tobias. It says, Dashi, how stupid would it be if Ruby helped Crow with his murder Ironwood plan if Penny is hacked and or killed?
I want that.
Hmm.
Like, if Crow's like, if Crow and Ruby both like run up to each other, and it's just like, okay, I know this sounds crazy, but just stick with me. We've got to kill Ironwood at the same time. Like,
Let's see another one.
I want Ruby to snap and kill some motherfuckers.
Doubt it. Super doubt it. All right, and
I-
Of course,
did
I
like-
doubt it. I'd still want it.
I did like the little moment of her getting like pissed off at Harriet for the resting next to Crow jab. I think we're starting to get to
True.
the point where even she's starting to break.
you think so? I don't
It's,
know.
it's just a question of what is it. I mean, she is, because she's dealing with a lot. She's trying to handle everything. It's not like openly expressive because she's not like Yang, where as soon as those emotions pop, it's like a flood. But she's like, I think we're getting to the cracks of it, especially after like last volume as well.
And Cynical Spirit says, if If the thing below the ice is indeed the sulfurfish Grim, do you think it will pose a lasting threat, or will it die after a
No.
single boss battle and never be seen again?
I mean, it'll probably be a reoccurring monster, but I do think it is just going to be a fight that exists to like get Yang, Jean, and Ren on the same page. Uh,
Mm.
Okay.
like
To get them back into good terms.
and sort their issues, because the reason why I don't think it shouldn't be an important Grim, and it can't be an important Grim for the same reason, and that is the fact that it is a fan made Grim. It's the Grim that won the contest
Yeah.
from earlier this year. And so like there's not any thematic weight that they can
There's no
ascribe to it.
attachment to the characters.
Well, there's no thematic attachment either. The way that with like the new Clavi, the apathy, like you look those up, you can be like, okay, they're actually doing something with the themes and characters here. Here, it's just gonna be another monster.
Okay.
I don't think it is going to be the sulfurfish. I think it's going to be the shark that was teased in that poster.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like, what if it's that shark?
Just because I think from what I remember looking at the image for the sulfurfish, it felt like they were like a collective of like small creatures. I think that's the artist's interpretation. They wanted to be like small creatures that can work together and be like almost like the 1000 Heartless in like Kingdom Hearts 3 and stuff like that, to be like a swarm.
It's like piranhas.
Yeah, and the cracks that we saw, it feels like it's like something big breaking through. And again, I feel like you can't really tease a shark Grim and not actually use it. By the way, if it does happen to be a shark Grim, it has to be called Bruce from Finding Nemo. I think that would just be perfect.
Yes,
So
that'd be
it's
awesome.
like poke up and go, hello.
Wasn't Bruce also the name of the shark in Jaws? Like, wasn't that the reference in Finding Nemo?
I don't know.
Yeah. But I still think
but
it's
yeah,
gonna be the shark.
Yeah, I think the sulfurfish is gonna end up being like not a mook level Grim, but I think something on those same lines of maybe like a tundra level Sabra or something like that.
No.
Plus,
why?
I also think it might be a bit too early for it to feature. I don't know like how long ago they worked on it when they finally made the decision.
My thing is, why not both? Why not introduce both Grim at once the way that they did?
True, it could, yeah.
Like have them fight like a bunch of sulfurfish, and then like right when they get the sulfurfish under control, boom, sharks.
Yeah, there's nothing that says it can't be both, but I think in terms of like what is breaking through, I think because also I don't think the sulfurfish was the design for it was more for it to be on land. But yeah, I think that's also another reason why we got this big break, because that's probably a lot on the production side.
Yeah. Ben Downing says, "What if the Wendigo pops out?" I doubt it, because the creator of that Wendigo Grim commented in one of the videos, on the last video. I think it's a girl. He said.
I believe it was, yes.
Yeah, Mayuki said, "I even changed the name for the Grim to soothe those that it offended, and once I did, and they were like, yeah, it's cool. Let's get it. Rip the Hollowed." So I don't think.
I think it would have been good, but I don't think it is good. I don't think it would be ever implemented, just because that would be a bit of a
smack in the face.
Not so much a smack in the face, but like a dark cloud topic. You don't want to really implement it on, which would be unfortunate, obviously, for the artist, because it did seem to be like a mountain made out of a molehill. But no, I think it's just going to be, in terms of fan designs, it's going to stick with just the sulfur.
All right. And the last question from somebody that I have not read anything yet from, Shadow Master Luigi. Do you guys find it as funny as I do that in this episode we saw Ruby worrying about Yang, but Yang wasn't even thinking about Ruby?
Well, I fucking hate that.
Guys, come on.
Okay, what do you hate about it, Media? Because I don't know if it's on the same page as me.
I mean, I kind of touched on this when I ranted about Yang earlier in the stream. But just the like, why are they trying to like at the last minute create artificial conflict with Yang and Blake when Blake has not said anything about Yang or about the situation. She's just been supportive of Ruby and agreeing that like Ruby's plan is good and needs to happen. Which again, like that actually makes Blake kind of cool because Blake has also been very firmly on the save mantle side since the very beginning. So Blake is, and as a long term Blake hater, it kind of pains me to say this. Blake is actually in the right in that. Like Blake and Ruby
Mark the
are
date, guys. Mark the date.
are the two characters that like confirmably agree with each other that like both of these things need to happen. And like I said earlier, it's like Ruby, Blake, and Jean seem to be the only ones who like really get it. Maybe Weiss, but Weiss hasn't made any comments in either direction. Um, so the fact that Yang, like, why would Yang even be concerned about that when Blake hasn't said anything? And even if she did, like, it's really shallow ship baiting, and I'm firmly of the mind that you need to either, when it comes to shipping, and it doesn't matter if it's straight LGBT, I don't care. You need to either do something or shut up.
Fair enough. The thing that annoyed me is people saying like, "Oh, does Yang even like care about her sister?" Like,
Yeah.
yes, she does. You're obviously trying to like stoke a flame of an argument. Go back, you can see several instances where Yang completely trusts Ruby, and it's a familial thing. You don't always need, again, like I said earlier with me and my brother, I don't vocalize it all the time, neither does he, but I know I love him, and I know he loves me. Whereas with non-familial love and like not even love, but like non-familial relationships, you don't always have that guarantee. Especially for someone like Yang, who has had numerous abandonment issues. She, even though they've progressed well between her and Blake in terms of like saying that I'm not running away anymore, I'm sticking with you. Blake's Yang's uh not being herself over the fact that Blake left her anymore, at least not extremely. But there's still no guarantee of that. And I think in terms of like why Yang is concerned about what Blake is stealing, she may be thinking Blake has always been the person who's always thought of what she could do to help the world, but here Yang is thinking something that's more on the smaller scale, even though it is still serious, helping out the people on Mantle. So she's worried that she's not on a same level pegging with someone that she's at the moment starting
Pegging.
to feel
Sorry.
shush
That's what I do.
level ground with.
Well, I don't peg. Well, maybe. No, all right, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Just digging yourself deeper. Dad.
I know. I'll just. Shh.
Screwed.
Sorry.
The point that I'm trying to make is like I don't think it is as forced as some people have said. Like I completely understand where you're coming from, media, in terms of like your frustrations with that and like how it should be like implemented and like do something with it and whatever. But I don't think it's as black and white as some people are saying, and I think some people are completely disregarding that again, the familial love, non-familial love, and also just trying to take into account Yang's abandonment issues as well.
Yeah. I don't think it's as black and yellow as people think either. Yeah. No, but
Leave
you're
the
right about
puns
the
to me.
familial. No. No.
Yes.
Shut up.
That's
I'm
all-
trying to
that's
talk.
all I
Okay. But I just, same what you think with familial love. Okay. You know they're just going to be there because family. They're just going to be there. And anyway, like, so what? So what? Okay. Sure. Was she thirsty? Sure. Okay. Was she not thirsty? And was she just like, oh, I miss her? Cool. Shut up. Next. What else is happening in this story? I mean, it's not like she didn't love her sister, doesn't love her sister enough, and wasn't thinking about her. Just shit. I'm done
Can
with it.
I address Ryan Carson in the chat
Okay.
with what he's saying? He's saying the issue people will have is that Ruby and Yang's relationship barely has any screen time devoted to developing it. They don't need to develop whether or not Ruby and Yang trust in each other or love another or support each other, because that's kind of that's already stated. You don't really need to dive too far deeper. Like even with their dispute at the moment, one, we didn't get the full thoughts of Yang before Ren chimed in with his thoughts, so Yang hasn't
true.
been able to tell Ruby like I'm still with you. I know you're doing the right thing, but we still need to address it.
Okay.
And I just don't get that some people think that they need to vocalize every single thought to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, my question is, how did you make it this far into RWBY? Like, if that's like, it's like, oh, they had this one scene that where Yang could have mentioned RWBY, but mentioned Blake instead, or Weiss,
Weiss,
if Eddie's
yeah.
shit post is to be
Oh,
believed.
God.
Like it's just like, oh yeah, no, she wasn't thinking about RWBY. It's like,
We
yeah,
need
but
to
like,
have one
think of
one
all the
scene.
times when like all of the characters are just like, the scene's purpose is supposed to be taken for granted by the audience. Like,
I think some people just trying to like. There's like, can we have a little bit of subtlety in terms of like how some of these relationship dynamics come in sometimes?
no,
Yeah.
that's not allowed.
Well, they should. Okay, they should.
Well, no, yeah, we need one scene where we just need John to turn to Nora and say, "I consider you my acquaintance," and then move on.
Every 2 seconds.
But it's overdubbed.
Yeah.
And then they do the same scene later on where it's just like overdubbed with friend.
All right. Do
Oh,
you have
yeah.
anything else to say, Fatman, about that? Because we all kind of had our thing, except for like, you had a little bit, but anything else?
Oh, yeah, about just about wanting scenes between characters to be, I don't know, spelled out. It's still like, that wouldn't change the fact that it's all like through dialogue. That wouldn't improve matters that much for me.
Mhm.
Or at all, really. I just think there are ways to do it, there are ways to not do it, and like picking on this one scene, it like where it is a scene where she is showing some sort of emotional reservations towards one character. It just doesn't happen to be this particular character. It's just like, this is above average.
I mean, it could have been
them.
Fiona. Who knows?
Yeah, and it's just like, oh god,
Uh.
like, I mean, I thought I was into cats, but maybe I like sheep. I'm just all like,
Okay.
and then Jean is like, I thought she was a cow. Like, I mean, they're finally giving you a scene, and now you're like, well, it wasn't the scene I wanted.
Yeah.
It seems, like, people will almost inevitably accuse me of hating the show or finding reasons to hate the show or blah blah blah. But like, that's kind of where I would drop that. Like, oh hey, they finally gave us a scene. It should have been a different scene. It's like, I mean, if that's what you want, sure, but that's not what they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
I think my issue is just with those who have been like taking the fact that there was no RWBY and Yang discussion on this and saying that is a major issue when not really. And why did it have to be a major issue for this episode when those two characters aren't involved?
See, my issue is, in the short term, it's because in the beginning of this volume, Yang and RWBY were the ones who like got into an argument. So it makes perfect sense, and it makes perfect logic to see things the way Jean was saying them, where like, oh, she must be talking about RWBY. That's who she was arguing with.
It wasn't even an
earlier
argument.
that day.
They were talking
Yeah.
peacefully.
Yeah. Well, it's an argument for RWBY standards.
Okay.
But a problem that I and many others have actually stems from complaints from Volume 7 that have been directly addressed with the way that the teams have been split up, which is how oversaturated Volume 7 was with Bumblebee teasing. Like, Yang and Blake did not interact with anybody in that volume outside of Yang and Blake.
Okay.
Like, Yang... throughout Volume 7, Yang had like one blink and you miss it scene with Ruby, and every single other scene was Blake. Even the scene with Yang coddling Ruby when they had that phone conference with Salem, that was also a Blake moment because Blake went to Ruby with Yang. Like Yang didn't just go and be a big sister to Ruby. It was Yang and Blake together counseling Ruby.
Remind me,
was
which
just-
scene are you
I thought it
talking
was
about?
just Yang.
No, Blake was there too.
Yang was first, but then Blake afterwards as
Oh,
well.
well.
It was
Why
the one
not?
where-
Oh my
it
god.
was- yeah, it was the one with the seer. When Ironwood like has Watts's bag.
Oh, in chapter 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everybody was there for that scene. But
Mhm. That's fine. I don't see problems.
Yeah. Again, I don't have issue with people saying like, oh, I wish they did, because yeah, I completely understand that. I wish, for instance, that we had a that maybe Ren said something about Pyrrha instead of just limited to the beacon cheating stuff.
And I
That
wish
would've
for
been good
Nip,
as well.
and I don't get that. I don't
Yes.
worry about it.
I can understand people wishing for this to be brought up, maybe not here or maybe there, but sometime. But my issue was just people saying like, "Oh, clearly Yang doesn't."
Yeah, the
care
clearly
about
part.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't stand
I
that.
think that's people having a bit more of an agenda going on there.
yeah,
And again-
Ruby and Yang did indeed fight together in the Volume 7 montage. Shadow Master Luigi. That is true.
Yeah.
But then again, that shouldn't really be their only scene together.
Okay. All right, guys.
I would. Oh yeah. No, sorry.
Sorry. Well, go ahead, and then we're
No, I would have also just said this was to kind of give a little caveat to explain why there was a lot of Yang and Blake stuff. This was also the first volume post Adam, so obviously their dynamic afterwards is an interesting thing that would have had a bit of focus. Maybe a bit too much. I can understand for some, but that's my at least my understanding of that.
I'm all for it. I'm all for whatever.
I've
Whatever
been
they
really ranty in this stream. I must.
That's
admit,
what we're
I'm
here
surprised
for,
by
man.
that.
We're here
I'm
for
sorry.
both praising, ranting, whatever. That's what we're here for.
You have words.
Yes.
Yeah, and for once, it's not puns.
Yeah, you barely had any today. I had to carry
I
your
might be
weight.
tired is all.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching it. Thank you for getting me to 1,000. Holy shit, that was a good time. So
Got to apply for that partner program now.
I'm on my way.
Get on it
I'm
now.
on my way. All right, guys, thanks, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully Friday again. And I fucking love you guys. All right, thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Uh,